Calgary Flames are in search of a young forward that can be one of the pillars of the franchise heading into the future and a window of contention a few years down the road. Well, the Flames have a golden opportunity as Alex Lafrenière could be on the outs with the New York Rangers as the Blueshirts look as though they may have traded away the wrong young forward. In a buy low circumstance, should Craig Conroy pull the trigger on a deal for Lafrenière? We'll talk about all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Let's hop straight in and talk about some Lafrenière rumors. Now, there's a couple different ways that these rumors have sparked. Obviously, the first one is that the Rangers have already been in talks kind of all year about selling since they've had a disappointing season. The next step of this has been the whole JT Miller drama. It seems as though he might be returning to the New York Rangers, and it seems like the Rangers might include Lafrenière in a package for that. So Lafrenière has been involved in trade rumors all over the park, not just with the Vancouver Canucks. And now another thing has really caused this to spiral a little bit, and it is that Kaapo Kakko has been playing really well since being traded away from the Rangers. So did the Rangers trade away the wrong young player? Here's a post from NHL Discussion. It was just posted, a few minutes actually before I recorded this, but they said, did the Rangers trade the wrong player? Kakko has taken off offensively. Jeez, I can't even speak. Kakko has taken off offensively since being dealt to Seattle, while Lafrenière has hit a terrible skid. So Kaapo Kakko, since the trade to Seattle, in 14 games, he has 13 points, 4 of those being goals. How's Lafrenière been doing lately? Well, in his last 20 games, obviously with the Rangers, he has only 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points, which you do not expect from a former first overall pick. And Lafrenière had a pretty hot start to the season, and in terms of compared to his other seasons so far in the NHL. I think it's safe to say he's another guy. We talk about Dylan Cousins all the time and about how his career has been a little bit disappointing. Lafrenière, he was a highly touted prospect. He has had an extremely disappointing start to his career as well. And we look at the standings here in the Eastern Conference right now. The Rangers are out of a playoff spot, which is pretty shocking. No one saw this coming from the Washington Capitals to be up there. I think most people would have expected it to be the Rangers, Devils, and Hurricanes in those 3 Metro spots, but the Rangers aren't even in a wild card spot right now as the Columbus Blue Jackets are playing super, super well. So the Rangers find themselves on the outside. They've already started to sell a little bit, as we've seen with Kakko. We've heard Jacob Trouba rumors like crazy, certain other players with the Rangers, and now Lafrenière. So could they sell him? Could this be kind of a buy low scenario for the Flames? If we take a look at Lafreniere's career so far, again, he's never really averaged even, half a point per game per season. He had 39 points in 81 games. In 2023-24, just last season was his best year. He did have well over half a point per game as he had 57 points in 82 games, almost a 30-goal season, which isn't bad. Again, you'd expect better for someone who went first overall, but not fantastic. And then this year he has been over, half a point per game as he has 26 points in 46 games. But as we just saw, only 6 points in the last 20. So he was at 20 points in 26 games, which was a very good. Still not exactly what you'd expect, but he's a minus 13 this year on a struggling Rangers team. And quickly, if you're unfamiliar with Lafrenière, here's his kind of bio, I suppose, from Elite Prospects, of course. So Lafrenière, his position is left wing. And I know a lot of people already, they won't get to this point in the video and they'll comment saying, we're looking for a center. We don't need any more wingers. Look, if a winger like this is on the market, it's not a bad thing to go for if you're going for a young forward. That just means in the upcoming drafts, you can really commit to only drafting centers, and one of them is bound to be a home run, of course. We saw in the last draft, the Flames went for offensive defensemen, which is great. They got many good ones, and wingers, but not really any centers. Acquiring another winger isn't exactly a bad thing. It just means you can totally commit to centers in the future drafts, in free agency, in whatever else, in trades, of course. So Lafrenière, not terrible, even though I know he's not a center. Now, obviously, he's on the Rangers. He's still young. He's only 23 years old. He's from Saint Eustache, Quebec. What a name that is. Obviously drafted first overall back in the 2020 NHL draft. That was a crazy one, too. If we all remember, it was just the certain teams had picks, and then, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. But anyway, obviously he was on Rimouski. He was supposed to be the next Crosby following in his footsteps. If we get into the pronunciation here, that's always fun, so let's do this slowly like we're at school, primary school, elementary school. Alex Lafrenière. I love it when it's all capitalized. So Alexi Lafrenière, Alex Lafrenière, of course. So what could the Flames do to get him? Well, let's look at some trade proposals. There's not really many floating online, so of course I had to consult our good old friend Artificial Intelligence for this one. But these were very interesting. So first, the prompt I asked was just simply a trade between the Flames and Rangers that included Lafrenière. So to the Flames, they would get Laffy. What would the Rangers get? They'd get Kuzmenko and a 2025 first-round draft pick. Now, of course, the Flames do not want to be giving up first-round draft picks. However, they should have, or they will have, at least two first-round picks. We just don't know what teams. I mean, guaranteed they'll have New Jersey's pick, which is interesting right now because the New Jersey Devils all of a sudden are struggling in the new year, which is very interesting. So maybe that pick might end up being the Flames' highest pick. We'll have to see. But they should also have either their pick or more likely Florida's pick. So again, very interesting here to involve that. Would the Flames want to give that up? I'm not too sure. I mean, I see that more so as you get a sweetener if you take on Kuzmenko's entire contract, which the Rangers couldn't afford anyway. So I mean, there would be different ways to do this because I believe Lafreniere's contract extension doesn't kick in until next year. So again, there's going to be cap certain implications with the cap here, and I'm sure we can get into it a little bit more. But either way, this proposal offers the Rangers an immediate replacement on the wing with Kuzmenko, who has a proven scoring touch. Oh yeah, he sure does this year. Along with a valuable first-round pick to bolster their future assets. For the Flames, acquiring Lafrenière aligns with their strategy of building around young talent, especially considering his recent long-term commitment to the Rangers. So you bring him on, you bring on that contract, of course. So that was a very interesting one. I want to take it a step further and see if there could be an even juicier one. And AI came up with this. So to the Flames, Lafrenière and a second-round pick. Oh, so we get the pick in this one. What do we give up? Oh, Rasmus Andersson. Now, this is an extremely, extremely interesting trade because I think at first glance, most Flames fans would say absolutely not. Rasmus Andersson is worth way more. But if you try and take it from a non-biased standpoint, this is an extremely, extremely interesting trade and could be kind of a golden opportunity here if Rasmus Andersson isn't going to end up signing, which we have all been led to think he will, but we've also been led to think that other players would in the past when they didn't. So many different ways we can see this, but either way, let's get into this. So, rationale for the Flames. Why Lafrenière? Well, Calgary gets a young, dynamic forward with the potential to grow into a top-line winger. Lafrenière would fit into the Flames' rebuild or retool efforts and could be a cornerstone player for their future. And again, we know he is not a center, but all of that is still true. He's one of those players, again, on a Rangers team that has so much offensive firepower, he's not exactly put in the best opportunity like a Panarin or Zibanejad would be. Whereas with the Flames, instantly he could be put on, if he switches wings, he could be put on a line with Huberdeau, get a little French connection going. Maybe he could get something going with Peltier, another young French-Canadian. It could be interesting overall. How about the draft pick sweetener in this one? So the second round pick compensate for giving up Andersson, who is an established top four defenseman. Now, Andersson on his own is obviously worth way more than a second round pick, but getting, a younger, still really good player, and let's be honest, Lafrenière is a much better option than Dylan Cousins. I know Dylan Cousins is the correct position, but Lafrenière really does still have the potential. So that rationale kind of does make sense for the Flames here. For the Rangers, so why Andersson? The Rangers would acquire a reliable right-handed defenseman in his prime to bolster their blue line, particularly to pair with or replace aging or injured players, especially if they get rid of some of their D-men that they do have. Andersson can contribute offensively while playing a responsible defensive game. We know how good he is. For the Rangers as well, this is a win-now move. So Andersson aligns with the Rangers' current contention window, giving them an upgrade on defense to help them make a deep playoff run. This might be it for the Rangers. This could be their last year to really go all out with this core. Now, you think of those Rangers team that made it pretty far in kind of like the mid-2010s, the Henrik Lundqvist era. They had a really quick rebuild after that, and they should have been much better than they were and done better in the playoffs, but they just really didn't. So this could kind of be it, and giving away Andersson without retaining anything could be huge. It's just overall, who knows? This could maybe be a golden opportunity to pick up a really good player. Here are the considerations I alluded to before. So the salary cap. Andersson does have a $4.55 million average through 2026, so this year and next year, while Lafreniere's extension starting next season will carry a $7.45 million AAV. So the Rangers would need to balance the cap implications, possibly by moving another player or retaining salary. And that doesn't necessarily mean in the trade with the Flames. That could be a trade beforehand to ensure that everything does work. So the fit, the Flames would lose their most reliable right shot defenseman, pardon me, creating a potential gap on their blue line. The Rangers, on the other hand, would gain stability on defense while slightly depleting their forward depth. Maybe that's what the Rangers need in that extremely tough Eastern Conference. So overall, extremely interesting to see here. Let me know what you think of potentially going after Lafrenière and what it could cost. I think way more people would rather try and get rid of Kuzmenko, as he could be a replacement right away for the Rangers, but it might have to cost a little more overall. Very interesting stuff here. Let me know if you have any trade proposals down below in the comments. Now let's wrap this one up with the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video that really outlined that amazing win against Winnipeg, and this was a great comment here from good old Guitar Memoir. They say, holding the top scoring team in the league, who own the best home record in the league, to 1 goal and taking the W in their building is no small feat. Because a lot of you guys said like, oh, but there was no Hellebuck, blah, blah, blah. Shutting down that offense is still incredible. Certainly beats dropping a deuce in St. Louis. It definitely makes up for it. And of course, have to end that off with Wolfie. What a performance. Arguably the performance of the season from him. But since it's arguable, that just shows how good he has been this year in his first official season in the NHL. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.